For more than 30 years, the British Wind Energy Association has represented the interests of the UK's renewable energy industry. When we began, we were a small but perfectly formed group of engineers and academics who, in 1978, launched BWEA at the Rutherford Laboratories in Chiltern.
I think society's view is that we were all in sandals with beards and this was going nowhere. And I think that was what this group of people suddenly realised, that they had something to work on, and they suddenly realised that wind energy had a place and it was going to have a future.
By the 1990s, the UK had its first wind farm. BWEA started winning popular support and attracted increasing recognition in the corridors of power.
With the chief executive at the time, Nick Goodall, we engaged in significant discussions to change the focus of the BWEA, and it moved, and I believe is at the right time, from eventually it moved to becoming business focused, away from this academic roots. Academic roots were important, the individual roots were important, but we were turning into an industry. And that industry meant, gigawatts of offshore winds being allocated. It meant to significant companies becoming involved as members.
The current decade has been a time of significant change for the BWEA. In 2004, the association enthusiastically endorsed the decision to represent companies from the wave and tidal sector and expanded the number of services on offer. The number of corporate members grew significantly, as did the UK installed wind energy capacity, from 344 megawatts in 1999 to 4.1 gigawatts by the end of 2009.
BWEA now is a far cry from when I joined in January 2002, when we were operating in a small office above a bank in Paddington with just 4 members of staff. Then we moved here in June 2002 to Islington, where we had 7 members of staff, and as you know, we then topped out with an 8-fold increase in staff to around 34 members of staff, now operating in our new premises in Victoria. At the same time as the growth in numbers of staff, we also cover not one renewable energy technology, but 5 renewable energy technologies. Also, our events programme gathered steam as well. I remember my first conference in Brighton, we had about 300 delegates. Now we have 6 annual events and totalling around 6,000 delegates. So over a time when the industry has gone from strength to strength, I'm very, very proud that the growth in the professionalism, the profile and the influence in the BWEA fairly and rightly reflects the status of a very successful UK renewables industry.
Which brings us to today. Thanks to our growing number of members, we have more than 560, and with increasing political influence, we have become the voice of wind, wave and tidal energy, which has led us to a very symbolic, very important, very smart change to our name. From today, the British Wind Energy Association will become RenewableUK.
We've certainly come a long way over the last 3.5 years. We have doubled in size, we've increased our turnover very considerably. We have underpinned our representation of wave and tidal technologies alongside our onshore and offshore wind technologies, and this has put us in an excellent position. It's created a platform from which we can now go on to continue to diversify. Our members, and they're the most important people in the world, they set our agenda. Their interests and assets and movements in renewable energy are themselves diversifying, and for as long as they want us to represent those interests and needs and challenges and secure an economic and political framework, then that's what we're going to do. This is all about positioning ourselves to continue to represent the interests of our members.
In essence, the organisation remains the same, underpinned by a fantastic staff and secretariat, underpinned by a very active membership, and underpinned by a clear policy direction given to us by government, both at a European and a national level, that renewable energy is going to play a very significant part in this country's electricity mix and more broadly in our total energy mix going forward over the next 30 years.
Renewable UK, looking forward to the next 30 years.